morning. Good morning. I'm your host, Hassan Lehman of Part-Time, Michigan.
Co-host Carl Williams in part-time Detroit.
Whole state of Michigan is a part-time.
Yes.
Well, what is it? Is it cool out there? Kind of breezy,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a little breezy.
But it's a nice day, nice shiny day
Mm-hmm.
in a part-time, Michigan. Well, we might as well get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Who was that? Flint. Flint Mayor Weaver won the recall election. She's still mayor.
Still
And,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
and they got rid of the majority of their council people, man. They swept them out.
That's what we should do.
Well, we kept the clowns on the city council. They got rid of
They
theirs.
got more sense than we do.
So I guess we got to be poisoned first. Is that it? They got to almost
Sad,
kill
ain't
you through poison your water. And then those city councilmen had the nerve, the audacity to say, we want to stay with the Carigani water. We want you to get a blended Detroit and Flint River water.
We don't want you to get clean, safe water. We want you to get blended water.
Yeah, that was in the contract.
it
How
up.
do you get Flint River water? They have been tested, and you know it ain't no good. So how is it that they were going to get them a contract for the Flint River water? Those council people out there, man, well, they got rid of them. Too bad we couldn't get rid of them here. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? For some reason, they've been showing this Rodney King deal after the Rodney King not guilty verdict with the police officers, and they started that little disturbance or riot out there in Los Angeles. You know, the second one. And I'm watching that this morning.
This morning.
Hey, man, when you can't sleep, somebody or something woke me up.
I understand that.
Maybe
I
they,
couldn't sleep. I might well got up.
and but anyway, it was on. I'm sitting there looking, and they've been running that program. I guess they're gonna cut it off since I'm telling everybody to watch that L.A. riot, the one about Rodney King. Watch that one, because you will see the similarities in Detroit. They called out the troops, and they just sat around. The police didn't do anything. Half of them were at a conference. A conference? Well, if a riot or some disturbance stopped, aren't they supposed to run to the disturbance like the firemen?
You would
Then
think
they,
so.
yeah. Then they say they couldn't call out from the police station. They can get a 911 call reporting something, but they couldn't call out. They couldn't even contact the squad car. And whoever heard of that kind of crazy, man? You in the police precinct, and you can't contact the squad car, the people out in the field to see what's going on?
What kind of crazy stuff is that?
Well, that's what happened. The same thing in Detroit, where didn't nobody do anything. You know, they showed where they brought in the federal troops. George Bush the first was president then, and they brought in some federal troops. Isn't that amazing? They brought in some federal troops, and they didn't do anything. They just sat around. Like the ones in Detroit on the east side. The riot was on the west side. The rebellion is on the west side. But they said, it was $1 billion. They said the damage was $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Well, they're going to exaggerate the claim. Because who got paid? The insurance companies paid for that. So they didn't call it a riot. It's a rebellion. Insurance don't pay for riots. I don't know how many times we got to tell y'all that. No, we got to tell you a whole lot of times.
That is key.
But what happened? Okay, they tore up everything. Something got burned up. What were the consequences? Somebody lost, and there was a winner. Black political power never returned to Los Angeles. There haven't been a black mayor since.
No, it haven't.
Whoa. And can you even remember the mayor's name? Mayor Bradley. Mayor Bradley was mayor of Los Angeles. The country had quite a few black mayors in major cities. So behind that, they didn't make it. Now, another thing, the businessmen, when they say, well, they burn out the business, they destroyed the business. What business? What black partners did they have? Those were the Korean businessmen. Uh-oh. Look like some dirty pool to me. What do you mean by that? Because they got rid of the competition. You know, Koreans, those Orientals are pretty fierce competitors when it comes to business, education, making money. That's what you call fierce competitors. They might smile and bow, but they after that money.
They believe it.
So they got rid of the Korean businessmen. They got rid of the blacks in the political thing. And, you know, it's something else that struck me as very interesting. I mean, this was real interesting. During that overtime, police made overtime. They weren't doing a whole lot, but they made overtime because they was out there.
Mm-hmm. Call that standby.
The police chief, who we don't know who that man is, who was he? I don't know. He was always a significant figure to me for some reason. The police chief made $1 million in overtime.
Just the chief?
That's what they said.
Damn.
I'm like, whoa. The man made $1 million? Well, I guess he was on call. He was a police guy. Hey, I've been downtown too. But he retired shortly after that. They forced him out. Now, the police chief didn't report to the mayor back then, not in Los Angeles. There was no mayoral control. There was no civilian control of the Los Angeles Police Department. Very interesting. The mayor couldn't fire him. Wow. Just like the mayor in the city of Detroit, what's his name? Former Mayor Kilpatrick couldn't fire the deputy police chief, Gary Brown. But he lied. Got some money.
Yeah.
He got a couple $1 million in that, what do they call it? Whistleblower lawsuit saying, but that was a lie. And it's interesting. I know we told you that before. Why don't y'all look some of this stuff up for yourself? It's in the charter.
Yes, there.
So now the blacks voted in this city to continue this march towards no more black mayors for the city of Detroit. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Don't think that this is something willy-nilly that hasn't been playing.
You better believe it. It's just...
If they play, we discussed that before on this program, how those so-called riots, which were rebellions, legal term is the rebellion, changed the political composition of America. It allowed for the Republicans with law and order to take over the White House.
That's exactly what happened.
Now, it's something interesting about Dale Gates. You know, President Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, the one that was assassinated, there are a ton of rumors on the man, how he was a playboy and all that kind of stuff. And he had a few dozen girlfriends, a half a dozen, 6 or 7. But one of the prominent girlfriends was Marilyn Monroe. Bombshell Marilyn Monroe. And somehow, you know, they're running for president and getting ready to run for president. They had to kind of say, oh, Bobby, you take it. You take care of her. So Bobby Kennedy started going with it, and that was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But somehow, Marilyn Monroe mysteriously died. Overdose of sleeping pills. Or some kind of barbiturates. Or opioids. That's what they claim. I wasn't there. You know they're not going to tell me. Did they tell you, Carl?
No, not this time.
No, they didn't tell us. But that's what they said happened to the lady. And guess who were the detectives? One of the detectives. One of the Los Angeles detectives that investigated the death of Marilyn Monroe was Daryl Gates.
There, Mr. Gates.
Yeah, Mr. Gates. Now, how
Hmm.
did Daryl Gates, how was he catapulted over all these people? You know, he was a detective, so they're usually what, sergeants and lieutenants?
Hmm.
So how did he get catapulted over the captains and commanders and the inspectors to be chief of the police department? Well, the one thing about it, he knew something everybody else didn't know. He investigated the death of Marilyn Monroe. I thought it was quite interesting. I thought that was quite interesting. You know how it is. They always jug at you. They throw something in there like that, let you know a little history on the man. Well, I read that before. I didn't see
I
that on there.
I heard
Yeah.
some of what you said before.
Back to life. Let's take a call. Caller, you on the air. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good
Good
morning. How
morning.
are you, Sylvia?
It's a sad day in apartheid Detroit where brains are so trained to vote for the brutally insane that will leave your children's with no gains. Thank you for taking my call.
No, thank you for making
Thank
that
you.
here. You're a poet
Poet,
and you
you
know
know
it. All right. I like that one.
Mm.
Caller, you on the air. Go right
Yes, how
ahead.
you doing today, Carlin Hassan?
Okay, and
Fine.
yourself.
I'm doing fine. This just came to me this morning, and this is pertaining to Gary Brown. It says Gary Brown is threatening the water board employees with a termination if they leak any information out about hepatitis outbreak. He is using this mortality clause of the union contract to fire them. This is a form of anonymous source who feared for their jobs, and they have. I don't know if you all know about that hepatitis A in Detroit now, but
No.
this is someone that putting this out on Facebook, and
Oh,
I don't want to say their name, but if you all can pull it up, if you're on Facebook,
now,
and I'm
what
pretty
is the
sure you'll
outbreak?
find out who it is, but I don't want to put their name out. But
Okay,
I just thought I would just let you all know.
repeat the
Share with the
outbreak
people.
again. What's the problem again?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
What is the problem again? What is it?
Oh, Gary Brown is threatening to terminate the people if they let the citizens of the city of Detroit know that we got hepatitis A in the water.
Well, that's interesting, but like you
Yes,
say, they
it
can go.
is.
They can go on Facebook, Twitter. They can, but why aren't they contacting the health department? That's what I mean. You can.
Well, that was at the end of it. That what was said was that for the health department is in on it.
Well, you got a state health department. You have a county health department, and they
Yeah.
should also, since they're so concerned, contact Brenda Lawrence, contact the people up in Flint. That's the representative Dildy up there. And you don't have to give your name. You know, I mean, tell them you Mickey Mouse. Give them any name. Sergeant Friday. Who cares?
Oh,
Pongo.
and
Yeah.
they can also contact Washington D.C. But I mean, I don't know what good it's going to
Well,
do
no,
with Donald Trump there.
no, it's going to do a lot of good because they're going to have some more hearings on the Snyder. You know, this guy, one of Gangster Snyder's aides, the governor's aides, Hollings, one of the black guys. I don't know if he's the only black guy, but he's one of them up there. Says he was told about the Flint water situation as far as the lead in the water, and so you know, and he said that in court. He said that in court when they questioned him under oath. He said, "Oh no." They said, "Well, you know you're under oath." He said, "And that's why I know I'm under oath, and that's why I'm telling you what happened at our committee." He was on a committee that he was chairman of, and so they could give that information. I'd send it to people right there with Shooty,
That's right.
Bill Shooty and his people. You don't have to give them your name. Give them your dead wife's grandmother's Uncle Sue's name.
Okay.
So a
What
lot
I'll
of
do
dead
is that
folks out here.
I will comment this person back, share that with them, and then they can do whatever they want to do with it.
That's right, because Gary Brown will be on the hot seat. The Detroit
yeah.
Water and Sewage will be on the hot seat because one of the things is how does hepatitis get in the water?
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
they were saying since so many people with kids don't have their water shut off, they were. I know Monica, Patrick Lewis, and Deborah. They were saying that it was hepatitis A and stuff was it was becoming rapid. So I don't know. That's something that the water department and maybe they can tell. Maybe their doctors then took their children to the doctors, and the doctors have found out that their kids got hepatitis A. I have no idea, but it just came to me this morning, so I thought I would share it with you all.
All right, thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate
Okay,
it.
and thank you all, and have a wonderful day. Okay.
Wait a
You
minute
too.
before you go.
Uh-huh.
There's another thing she could do. They can take some small bottle and fill it up and take it to the water department and have them analyze that water.
Have them take it to a lab,
Lab,
a private
yeah.
lab. You don't have to go to the water department. That's what she's saying. Go to the private
Private
lab.
lab or anywhere.
Okay, well then I will share that with her, and in fact, what I'll do is that I have both of your numbers, so I'll call you all and
Okay.
tell you who the person is. It's someone you all know very well.
All righty.
All right.
Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful day. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
She talking about the water. My water's kind of ain't right.
You've been saying that
Yeah,
for longer.
yeah. I got a bottle of it, and I'm gonna take it down to the lab like you talk about,
Yeah.
and I have them test it.
Well, you know, the other thing is, ladies and gentlemen, the Great Lakes Water Authority don't have the qualified people that were in the water and sewage under the city of Detroit. You know, they got rid of a lot of them, and a lot of those chemists, and I don't know the license that they had to have or certification they had in the fresh water, but over on the sewage side, they had to have a certification or license. They had an A, B, and C license in the sewage department. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want people to know that those men and women that worked out in the water department, Detroit Water and Sewage, were licensed or certified by the state. The government forced them to be licensed. That's one thing Fikens did, it was a good thing, is when he forced the city to license all their people, saying they wasn't qualified, so the people jumped on it. And maybe Raphael is listening. He was over there training, and he can call in and explain the license, especially in the freshwater side. So you have a lot of talented people that were working for the Detroit Water and Sewage plant that they got rid of. And they're not talking about that. You know, Gary Brown doesn't know what's going on over there. All he is one of those lying cops that went to court, and if Kwame or his wife can write a book or an essay or something and start this campaign on Gary Brown to show that he lied about the mayor firing him. And you say, well, the prosecutor, Kim Worthy was in on it. She brought the suit. What are you talking about? They know about it. We don't know. If you won't read the book, it's in the city charter. And we keep bringing it up.
Keep bringing it up.
Keep bringing it up. All you got to do is think about it. The Mayor Bradley, that's the black mayor at the time, back in the 70s, out in Los Angeles, couldn't fire Dale Gates, the police chief. After the riot, he couldn't say, man, you messed up, you fired. No, he didn't. No. He couldn't do it. Why? Because he had city charter protection.
That's right.
The same thing that Gary Brown had when he was there, which all of them have, city charter protection. We've told you that 100 times. You wouldn't listen. I know what it is. It's amazing. There's a section in the city charter that says if you were hired under the previous charter, so they had about 6 of them, right? One in 74, which is the new charter. Then, well, it was real simple when you read it. You say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't be laid off? Well, that's what the language in the charter said. It couldn't be laid off.
No.
Okay, so you got a mayor, you got a new mayor that came in, Coleman Young, when he got elected, and you think the people that put that charter together that know blacks were going to be in charge sooner or later were going to let them lay off all them white folks that didn't know what they were doing? the white folks that wasn't even qualified to have a job in the first place, do you think they were going to allow them to fire them? You got to be out your mind. Well, I want you to tell me which one the mayor fired. Find one. Now, he could have fired his appointees, but he couldn't fire anybody that was here before the 74 charter. That was 99% of the city workforce.
That's right.
And that has been carried over in every charter.
Because I know when I first seen it, I couldn't believe it. I
Huh?
said, wait a minute. How you get a job and you can't be fired?
He's there. But just think about it. How many folks know that? How many of
Not
these
very
city
many.
employees that are left around know that if what's the last charter? Was it 96? No, it wasn't. Wasn't it one before 96? Or after 96?
94, then it was,
I remember the 96. Yeah, it was something under there. I don't know what year it was. This latest charter, the one that you can't even get now, is online. The one that you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even buy
Right.
at the that's maybe that's why I don't know.
The old one.
Well, I
here.
know it's an old one.
But this is 97. So
Okay.
it had to be.
Yeah, we voted on
Okay.
96 and it's in 97. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you were working for the city, let's say this one here in 97. If you were working in the city, you started in 95, you started in 96 when that charter came out in 97, you couldn't be fired.
That's right.
But how many people knew that? It said only for violations of the rules of the Civil Service Commission. Not so people just don't know. They didn't know that. The union people didn't know that, and the ones that did kept it to themselves and laughed at you because they didn't like you, man. Matter of fact, you one of them people they didn't like. Uh-huh. That's how it goes when you don't know. Caller, thanks for calling. You're on.
Yeah. Carl, hi, Sean. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. If you click on Detroit, case of hepatitis A found in Detroit Water and Sewage Department employee. The employee does not interact with public, DWSD says. This was written up by Derek Hutchison, posted November the 9th. So you can look it up yourself. Case of hepatitis A found in Detroit Water and Sewage Department employee.
Oh, the
And they're
employee.
saying that health officials announced Thursday a case of hepatitis A has been found in a worker at the Detroit Water Sewage Department. DWS spokesman said the employee does sewer inspections and has no interaction with the public. This man has nothing to do with water service, DWS said. So you can look it up yourself. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I just want you to know, click on Detroit, and
What
it
was
was
that date
posted
again?
November the 9th by Derek Hutchison.
Oh, that wasn't in the newspaper?
It's on click. It's on
Detroit.
Facebook, and it's on click. It looks like Click on Detroit did the,
Right.
whatever, did this article.
Okay, so we're moving on.
All right, so I just wanted to, so those who might be interested and need to understand that they keep trying to hide stuff from us, but, everything can't stay in the dark. The truth finds the light. So you have to, search and make your own decision and know what's wrong and what's right. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
making it here.
Uh,
Well, see, that was quick, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
We got a response. I guess you can say we have a rapid response team, even as we're in the studio. They're out in the hood, and they know what's going on, and they're sitting at their computers and their cell phones, and they're doing the heavy lifting. So that's good. Everybody's
Yeah.
aware of it,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on.
Because I wasn't aware of that.
And I didn't see it in the paper. That's why I brought that up. I made that statement. I said, was it in the paper? I heard where she got it from, but they're keeping it out of the news and the free press. That's obvious. And it makes it, what they say, he does sewer inspection, so he doesn't come in contact with the public. Hell, when he go home, he don't go to the store, he don't go to the gas station. What do they mean he don't come in contact with the public? What kind of crazy stuff are they talking
How
about?
he's gonna avoid coming in contact with the public?
And how did they find it in him? What happened? Was he in the hospital? You know, a lot of this stuff have to be reported by law. The hepatitis,
Yeah, they do.
huh?
Yeah, to the
To the health
disease
department.
control. Yeah, Department of the Health Department.
What that CDC,
Yeah,
Community Disease Control or something?
right.
Yeah, they have to report this information that the man talking about you got a contract and we gonna fire you. That sound like a crooked police, don't it?
Sound
Don't
like a
that sound
fool.
like a crooked cop that don't know what he talking about? Gary Brown, we gonna fire you if you divulge this information. It sound like Gangster Snyder. Well, we gonna give you these filters, but you can't tell anybody where you got them from. You can't tell anybody what the filters are for. Whoa, it's a hell of an echo chamber around here, isn't it?
Oh, ain't it?
It's going on. They believe in covering up. How's that the police department covering up stuff?
Ain't they supposed to do just the opposite?
I don't know, man. They still looking for that guy that killed that Wayne State police officer. And they say they got one. They got somebody that's a mental case that they can frame like they framed the first guy.
First guy, yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But the question, ladies and gentlemen, if this mental case person, they say he's mental, and his lawyer, even anytime that paid lawyer that's appointed, that's doing those, representing the indigenous people or people with no money, anytime they realize the man is a basket case or he has mental problems and he needs help, and he couldn't have possibly done anything like that. Now, I know for a fact, I know somebody that has mental challenges. Person cannot speak. Don't speak. That's what I should say. Not that they can't speak, but they may say, they'll grunt, huh? They may say hi to you. They may say, they don't say 3 words. They don't give you 3 words or 4 words in a sentence. If they say bye, they don't say goodbye. It's bye. Ask me what time it was. They say watch. Watch. Oh, you want the time. Okay, so this person has been like that all their life. Now they're a grown person, man, and the police arrested him. Detroit police, this is a true story. Arrested him about, 20 years ago now? 15, 20 years ago? Out on Greenfield by that Greenfield around the Lodge Freeway at that White Castle restaurant. There was a robbery. And the people in the restaurant said he did it, pointing to this person with a problem. And so when they investigated him, they came back and says, they arrested him. He was in jail about 6 months.
What?
Oh, yeah, he was in jail about 6 months. And folks went to writing letters and stuff to the judge, letting them know, hey, we know this man, and he haven't spoken and since he was a little boy. And the catch was the officer, the arresting officer said, oh, no. So you're wrong here. The employee said he was the one that robbed him, and he told him, says, I only want large bills, 50s and 100s.
He don't even talk. Huh?
Don't even talk. But they kept him in jail 6 to 7 months, a railroad. Black police officers. I don't know what was wrong with the judge. How you gonna keep somebody in jail 6 to 7 months and you know better? You can see the man don't talk. Pitiful. That's how you make your promotion in the Detroit Police Department, I guess. That's how that guy that says what was his name? The one that they put in jail for that was 14 and they put in jail. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Just got out of jail, and they want to make excuses. He signed his name, he did it.
Yeah.
No, he was a juvenile, and you go to juvenile court, and they didn't follow the Michigan Constitution.
They put him in jail instead of juvenile detention center.
Well, he had to go to juvenile. Juveniles go to juvenile court where they are waived as an adult after a hearing. But they crazy. But then y'all like that, right? Y'all like the white folks telling you what to do. And when it happened to you, then you're going to see the difference. You're going to see that you got some white Daryl Gates or black Daryl Gates around here that want a promotion. So they're going to keep their mouth closed, and they're going to railroad as many people as they can. And we need, you know what?
That's why they say they have blue blood. They don't have no. All of them blue.
They blue.
Don't make no difference, black or white. It's blue.
But what happened? This is what I want to know from the listeners or viewers out here. What happened to the watchdog or the people that's supposed to be watching the police department? Ron Scott.
Ron Scott, yeah.
Ron Scott died, unfortunately.
Yes.
And nobody's looking. Nobody's up to the challenge. Because he would call a news conference. He would get on them.
In a minute, anything like this, he
I mean, it's just too blatant. So now we have all kind of crazy stuff going on. They'll come out about a taser every now and then if somebody got tased and killed. They'll come out about that. I don't know, you know. But what about the other folks that are nobodies to us? I mean, you know, the other guy, didn't nobody know him, the young boy that got killed, but it was the way it was done.
Yeah.
But my question is, the man, the Wayne State police officer that was killed, I would say senselessly, but we know somebody had it out for him, and he had those dogs, those canines, that sniffed out the drugs. So what case was he on that they had to get rid of him? That's amazing. Nobody really asked the real questions, do they?
No. You got to be kidding.
And what about Dan Gilbert? What about the billionaire Dan Gilbert, but that you want to make? How many billions y'all want to give him? Taxpayers' money. You know, if we keep giving him taxpayers' money, you don't know that your taxes are going up. That's why you should have got rid of that city council downtown. We did get somebody on there, Roy McAllister Jr. We got a new councilman coming on, and hopefully he will do some of the things that he said he was going to do, some of those promises he made on the campaign trail.
I kind of feel good about it.
Oh, yeah. But here's another thing, that the land bank. How many of us know and realize that the Detroit Land Bank is a little private corporation that supposed to be quasi-public? You hear these commercials now that they're going to get the school teachers a discount, come in, pick out the property you want. You can buy school teachers, family and friends, city workers, family and friends, retirees. Well, that's the way it was supposed to be all the time, but I guess they done went through and cherry-picked all of the better houses, the best houses they felt in the land bank and the location they want. Now they want to get rid of it. They let you come in and get some of it at a higher price to show they're going to be discounted, even though they told you that lie. City property. Taxpayers couldn't pay their property taxes for whatever reason. The property in the city of Detroit reverted back to the city of Detroit. Now, do you know that when you buy the house, land bank sells you a house, that money go in their pocket. Don't go to the city of Detroit. Why would those people on the city council be that dumb? Just give away everything. Huh? Dodo bird. Just give away everything.
Unbelievable.
Huh?
It's really unbelievable.
They not getting it. Then Livonia Mike appoints everybody. He appoints his family and friends. I thought that was against the law. They're family and friends.
Is that what they said about Kwame?
Oh, but that's why we in apartheid Michigan, because it only applied to black folks. Oh, I got you now.
Mm-hmm.
I can see clearly. It don't apply to white folks, only black folks.
And Kim Worthy, she sit down there, she act like she's scared of white folks. She's supposed to be so bad, but she can't see nothing.
No, she bad on us now.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's deaf on us.
Yeah, buddy, let's take a call. Caller, you on there?
Good
Hello?
morning.
Good morning. How
Good
are
morning.
you?
Good. Listen, while you're talking about the police department in Detroit, they are completely incompetent. I saw on the news the other day where there was a raid on a drug house, I guess, and they had the undercover Detroit police and the regular police there, and they ended up fighting each other. And it was videotaped, showed it on the news. Now, that's just completely ridiculous. The police chief had a news conference, and he was saying, that it was totally embarrassing, because it is. How does that happen?
Well, what happened was, didn't nobody tell those cops? Somebody, one of the police officers, the group of police officers, drug house. That's their drug for the naive people now. For the naive people out here, that's police, drug house, police department, the employees of the police department. And the man is mad because what you coming over here in my territory for? What you come over there messing up my thing for? And yeah, they got in a fight over it because that's his money. And then which one of them guys might tell on him?
See, this is not just television. This is live.
Yeah, that was live, especially with all the cameras and stuff going on. But it was a police officer that got shot and killed, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago? When he went over to a house, a drug house, they said it was a known drug house. He didn't know nothing about it, and he got killed. He went in the wrong place. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. See? So this happens all the time, believe it or not. But somebody got their wires crossed, or somebody just forgot to tell the man because they want them out of that area, and they want to take over.
That's Detroit's best, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what they do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what they
I'm
do.
hanging up. Thanks.
Thank you.
See, I remember when the Wayne County Police had a shootout with stress. Because the Wayne County Police, well, they had a couple of them that was
Wayne County Sheriff.
sheriff. That's what I mean, Wayne County Sheriff.
Was it-
They used to come in the neighborhood. One of them was, and they used to have these little gambling parties. It was common knowledge. And stress went up there, and they had a shootout. I think somebody got shot.
They might have. They were doing that back in the day. They'd have crazy. Let's take another call. Caller, you on the air?
Hello?
Yes, go right
Hello?
ahead.
Yes, Carl and Hassan. After Sylvia called in, and then I'm sitting here, and then I get a charter. This lady just all of a sudden put the charter up on Facebook.
Oh, good.
That's good.
So this is more serious than what we think.
Yeah, it is.
Very serious.
So I just wanted to just share that with you all. I'm like, they just said get the charter. And I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, my God. So, and she got a little thing with the horn. I'm ready.
Well, go to, what article is that? That Article 51 in the charter?
It
think it's in the
doesn't
back.
say what article it is. She's got the Home
last
Rule
one, I
Charter,
think.
Charter of the City of Detroit. And you just read, and it says Premier and Declaration of Rights.
Well, if you go to the back, that's what we're trying to find it now. Go flip over another page.
So I
If
think,
any
like you said,
question
everybody, we
concerning
need to just go on
transaction,
Facebook. I mean, go and just pull up the charter. And I hope that you probably can go to the library and pull it up, so that way you can run copies off if you don't have a fax machine or, something of that nature. But, okay, you all have a wonderful day. I just wanted to share that with you again.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Rights and officers and employees.
Okay, what section is that?
13103.
Okay, section 13103, rights of officers and employees. See, what they tell most of the employees is that don't mean you. That only mean the department heads. But it said and employees. See, and so you need to read that, and that's in the back. Article 13 is called the first part of it is scheduled. Then you go down to what is that? 13 what?
103.
103, and that gives you rights of officers and employees. So read that part about where you can't be laid off.
No provision of this charter shall affect or empower the rights and privileges of the city officers and employees existing when this charter take effect with respect to appointment, rank, grade, tenure of office, promotion, removal, pension, and retirement rights or civil rights.
Now look here. It said pension.
Yes, it did.
The pension folks, the employees that were retirees that getting a pension never cited this article in the charter. How you go to court and won't cite the charter? And it's backing you saying that they cannot change your pension benefits if you were employed before the latest charter.
That's right.
The charter, wherever the episode is taking place, where they trying to change your benefits. It say dealing with, what it say? Didn't it say layoffs?
Yeah.
Read that part again.
This charter takes effect with respect to appointments, rank, grade, tenure of office, promotion, removal of pension, and retirement rights or civil rights or privilege of the city office or employees.
You'll find that other part where it talks about, just go down further, where they talk about the removal of the officer.
Cause for removal is established in the proceeding before the Civil Service Commission.
Go ahead, go down further.
Let's see. The person is transferred to another position in the city government and is assured of salary and benefit at least as favorable as would have been earned by service in the position from which transferred until mandatory retirement age is reached.
Okay, so Gary Brown, under this charter language, could not be fired. He had to be transferred. And so what happened to him was he was in a civil service employee. So they can't fire. When you go to work for the mayor or a councilman and that kind of thing, they can't fire you. They have to send you back to where you came from, your old position. They can fire people that they hired off the street. And so you need to get a city charter. Y'all need to read it. That's listening. They have a computer or something. Pull it up since she says it's up there on Facebook. And go to that section in the charter, Article 13, 103.
It's the last one.
Oh, yeah, it's at the end. It's at the end.
Very last one, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't be very hard for you to find.
Yeah, I tell people, yeah, y'all busy reading the front of the book. You better go to the end of the book and start reading from the end backwards. And you cut off some time, and you'll find out what's going on. We got some calls here. Caller, you on the air. Go right ahead.
You know, that was Officer Huff that got in that house and didn't know that there were police in there, and they changed gunshots and they killed each other.
Oh, yeah.
I know a friend of mine last year got raided, and the police come in there and raided them. They didn't take nobody to jail. They said the downtown took their money, they took their money, and then they let them go. See, that's all that incident they had last week was about their turf. They laid them off, cut their pay, and they don't want them to mess with their hustle. That's all.
You're absolutely right. Appreciate it. Caller, you on the air.
Yeah, the news said that if you've been to the restaurant Firewater or Little Caesars that's on Cinco, I think Firewater on Milwaukee, and the 13,000 block of Finkel, the Little Caesars, that you should go to the hospital to get vaccinated because of hepatitis A.
Little Caesars on Finkel and what?
It's the 1300 block. What? 13,000 block of Finkel and the Firewater that's on Milwaukee.
Where is that, near Schaefer? Or
13,000 block of
I
Finkel.
think that's near
and
Wyoming
the
or somewhere.
Firewater on
Schaefer.
Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. Finkel, I'm trying to think of it. There's one over there. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
it
think
is
what it is.
Wyoming, I think.
No, that's
Let me
kind of
see.
close.
No,
I think it's closer to Schaefer or what it is, or Greenfield or somewhere. All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right.
Now, that's interesting. They did put that in the news about Finkel and the Firewaters Bar. The brothers is down there, so they're trying to run them out of business, huh? Well, that's what I think about Chipotle's restaurant chain they're trying to take over. That's the Mexican chain. Now, they own the New York Stock Exchange. They raise the sand, making money, and all of a sudden, they got all that chlorophyll, E. coli. That's what it is. E. coli in the salad. That's been going on about 2 years now. They almost shut them down, but it's rough. It's about the money. It's about the money, y'all. It's about the money. We the only ones that don't want no money. We want to give all our money away.
Yeah.
And getting back to that land bank thing, when your property is sold, now when the land bank sells you the property, or your cousin, anybody buys land bank property, and you start paying property taxes, guess what? That money don't go to the city of Detroit. Land bank keep it in their pocket for, what is it, 8 years? I know it's 5 years.
Yeah.
They moved it up. I think it's about 8 years now.
8 years. I think it is 8.
How crazy can you be? You done gave the people the property. They got a big slice of money, a chunk of money. When they sold the property, it wasn't city property. It wasn't city property. It is city property. It wasn't their property. Carl, why they didn't give you some of the land bank? Why are you not on the land
I
bank?
just don't know, man. I should have been on there.
I mean, all them folks working for Mike Duggan. I don't even want to call nobody's name down there, but them black folks ain't got no money. Well, they did get a job, though. Don't they have a job?
They ain't got no sense.
They got a little job, but they're not making them millions. That $500,000 that they making down there on the land bank.
And they ain't gonna have that long.
And then the land banks keeps the property tax money for 8 years, 5 to 8 years. I think it's 8, but we know it's 5. The money doesn't go to the city of Detroit. So when they say, well, who's going to make up that money? Who's going to make up the money that the taxes are not going to the city? Oh, if you live in the city of Detroit and you're a property owner, you are. And if you're a renter, if you're renting from somebody, they got to charge you higher money for rent because they got to pay the
Rent gonna
taxes.
go up.
Oh, my goodness. And y'all voted for this man. Oh, wow. Y'all voted for Livonia Mike, and he's looking out for Livonia.
That's right.
Let's take some
Why
more
y'all
calls.
think we call him Livonia Mike? You think we just saying it just to be saying it?
Caller, you on there? Hello?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, I'm
All
okay
right.
yourself. Go right ahead.
All right. Air hepatitis, they shut down that piece of place. It's on the corner of Myers and Finkel.
Okay, I know it was out there somewhere. They shut it down.
Yeah, and when they want to destroy something, they usually go through the water system. You know, when whites wanted to take over black people's land, they went into the water system. And wherever white people go, they destroy the water. If you notice, they were talking about E. coli levels out there in the suburbs for all the lakes and stuff, but they have been swimming that water for about 3 or 4 years because they feces and urine, something is in it. I don't know what it is, but wherever they go, they destroy the water. Now they moving out from there downtown, where we got the greatest filtration system is, and they're going to run their crap through our system. You know, when they went into Africa, they used the water. When they killed 50 million black people who was here before Columbus, they used the water system to do it. They put their diseased people and dying in the water system upstream. Them brothers was using that water every day. That's how they got rid of 50 million black people in the United States, Central America, and South America. It was the French. Cortez came in through Central America and started poisoning them people, and he would feed them to dogs. America never belonged to no red man. If you check your history, you'll find out there was no red man here when Columbus got here. When he wrote the letters back to the Queen to tell them what the inhabitants looked like, he said they were black Indians. The term Indian only belonged to the black person. Why? Because when the Europeans first started ridding black people off their land, they went through India. So the name of a black person called an Indian came on up to the United States. And that's why white people call them black Indians. This red man they're referring to are the offspring between the blacks and the whites. The whites came in and killed and poisoned all the men and raped all the girls, and their descendants was the one they calling a red man. Wasn't no red man here. There wasn't no Mayans here. There wasn't no Aztecs here. There wasn't no Clovis people here in America. The people of America before Columbus got here were blacks. They were just like the ones in Ethiopia and Nubia. There was no difference. There's a conveyor belt of wind that will carry you from Africa to the United States. That's the place where you can put a note in a bottle and throw it in the water and it rewind up in the United States. It's coming from Africa. There was a conveyor belt of wind. That's how they got here in the first place. These people not only have stolen everything I got, but they lie. It's sad when you steal all that a people got, then turn around and tell a lie. You know, it's really sad. I'll tell you what you do to prove it. Go look up the pyramids that has been sunken off the coast of Florida. Go on Google and bring the images up of those pyramids. And there's also one off of Cuba, and there's also one off Japan. There was 3 pyramids here, and they were pointed to the celestial bodies in heaven. If you don't believe me, as soon as we get off there, Google it. They're still there, and they're bigger than the ones that's in Egypt. And thanks for taking my call, my brother.
Thanks for making it here.
Thanks for making it here.
Well, you know, the ones that like to go to casinos, if you go to Firekeepers Casino, that's the Indian casino on Indian reservation. Mm-hmm. But they have pictures of the Indian people back then, and, you know, in the 40s, 50s. And like you said, there's none of them red. None of them are red.
And, you know, one thing he said, he said they're liars, because I was looking at a tape that I got, and they mentioned, they showed where Columbus went. He never came to these United States. The closer he got to here was Cuba. There were 4 different places that he went, that somewhere in South America and Jamaica, and I can't think of the other one. But he went to 4 different places, and he never came here. So that he's correct. They've been lying to us forever.
Well, they like it. They like it.
Oh, they're good at it.
Huh? No, I said we like it.
Oh, is that what it is?
That they like it. Yeah, we like it. We like the man to lie to. We say, oh, lie to me, baby. Just keep lying to me, white folks. I'm happy. Hello, y'all on the air, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, yourself.
We are on a high frequency this morning, and the gentleman who called before me, he is absolutely right. But what I would like to add to his conversation, and yours as well, as far as the charter, that doesn't apply to not only you, but myself as well. I am a brown man as well. Those laws and statutes do not apply to us. Number one reason is because we just had, I don't know, I say 100 years from now, you'll find out that that guy named Barack Obama probably was your first clone president. But he was supposed to be a brown man, a black man, or whatever you want to call. But he did not turn us into whole when he was in the White House. He left us 3/5 of a man. Not only that, if you read the Constitution, it says that we are not citizens of this country. We are not citizens. That's why those laws don't apply to us, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why they're carrying out these plans that they're doing in the black communities, because we are not citizens. You guys must do the research. This is very important. Go and do the research. They applying these laws to us because we are not citizens. And what the guy said before me, he is absolutely correct. And why they won't make us citizens is because we are aboriginals. We were here when they got here. They got the slaves from here, and we must reverse this history so that we can get our inalienable rights, the God-given rights. And they use the pen to suppress us. They use words. This is a very strange place, and it works on two polarities. That was the bad news. The good news is that if we come together, we can defeat all of this. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for making it here. You call us earlier so we can have a discussion on it.
Yeah, because that 350 wasn't talking about people.
Caller, you on the air.
Yes, good morning. That conversation prior, very interesting and very true, but I'd like to digress a bit. Did you see on the news where the city is going to take $60 million to plant trees across the city? That $60 million to go back and shore up our pension fund. But they're taking that money, which they say is a surplus in the fund, general fund, to plant some doggone trees. And then they're saying, on the other hand, they got to worry about how our pension is going to be protected. I forget, the year 20, whatever it is. So I just want to know, did you all see that? And I'll hang up. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
No, I didn't see it.
That's a barrier. You know, he always talking about woods and trees, and they want to fence us in, and they want to put trees out all over the city where you cannot come back in. Well, let me say this right now. Tyrone Travis will be here at 10:30. Everybody knows Tyrone. He's going to be here till 10:30 to noon. He's got a show, and he's going to keep it jumping. But we just want you to know that you're going to have a chat with Mr. Tyrone. Well, last name is Travis, but everybody know the Tyrone. All right. Caller, you're the last caller. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, Brother Carl and Brother Hassan.
Good morning. You're going to have to call us early.
Information, Carl and Hassan, Thursday morning, 10 a.m., NOI.com. Minister Farr will be making a major press conference in Washington, D.C., where he will be addressing issues at the president. It's going to be a very serious press conference this Thursday at 10 a.m. You can pick it up on NOI.com on your computer, NOI.com. And that's 10 a.m. this Thursday morning.
All right.
A major press conference. All right, y'all have a blessed day, man. Love you, brother.
All right, you too. Well, I don't know where the time goes, ladies and gentlemen. The fastest hour in television, radio, anywhere. It just shot on past us like it always does.
Yeah, every time. Seems like it's getting faster and faster, though.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's just moving. It just moves right along. But we don't have that much time, but I'm going to take a minute to say, in closing, we go by the laws in the country. The laws did make us citizens, even though what the law said, the people were slaves. It didn't turn around and make the Indians a citizen of this country. It said the slaves, the people in bondage, were made citizens of America, the United States of America. So, right, we need to read up on this stuff, and we need to study it together and have a conversation. But we got to go. We don't want to go, but we got to go. I'm your host, Hassan Aline.
Co-host Carl Williams.
And we'll see you next Tuesday. Same time, 9 to 10 o'clock.
Maybe 10:30 next week.
All right, but we'll be here. And Tyrone Travis is coming up here. Be here in 10:30. He's in the on-deck circle now, so he'll be coming up in a little while. Till next week, peace.